G'day guys, thanks for tuning into today's video. Today I'm going to run you through some footage of my Paladin doing the ZF grave farm. I'll explain how I do the ride through to the graves, how you get all the mobs ready, and how to execute the kill phase. I'll also cover advisable consumables, what gear to run, and the spec that'll help your survivability and your kill times. Before we jump in, just a reminder to like the video and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you didn't know, on my channel, for every subscriber I get, I donate $1 to the Movember Foundation. The same also goes for my Twitch, so if you follow me over there, that's also another $1 to charity. Links are in the description, and your support is greatly appreciated. First thing I'll talk about is some of the things you might like to prepare ahead of time, some more necessary than others. For gear, you'll want to go in with a lot of intellect and spirit on your gear. This will help a lot at the lower levels especially, and will ensure you can use more max rank consecrates rather than using rank 1 to tag the mobs. Focus on gear of the owl if you can, which is obviously intellect and spirit, and best of both worlds. Spell power is also nice, so you can consider weaving in some of the Dreamweave set. Obviously this is a bit of a give and a take. Obviously the Dreamweave set is cloth, so what you can do is have a plate set for riding in, and then you can swap to your cloth set as we venture onto the pool and the kill phase. There's also another great jewel crafting ring that's come out in pre-patch called the Gem-Studded Band, which is 16 spell power and only cost me 30 gold on my server. You'll also want to put minus speed on your boots. The extra movement speed is great for kiting the mobs, helping you jump in between the two pathing spots and clicking graves. There are some really great rare and epic items that you can consider picking up from your auction house. I'll take you through my gear that I'm running for this, just to give you an idea of just how much spirit you can really get on some of these pieces, and what you might want to have a look at on your auction house, because I feel like a lot of these pieces that I've got are really great for this kind of pull. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the Heiberg Helm, 10 stamina, 15 intellect, and 15 spirit. All the stats we want for this kind of a solo pull. Again, stamina, intellect, and spirit. These are all BOE so far. Of the owl, great. Owl again. Icemail Jerkin, stamina and 24 spirit. At this level, this is like unmatched. You can obviously put enchants on this kind of stuff, but I didn't really think it necessary. This is of the eagle, so intellect, stamina, and I've just put a 7 spirit enchant on it. Ardent Custodian, I've seen people go with the Scarlet Monastery Maze for a little bit of spell power. I've also seen people go Flurry Axe. I just went with this one because it was really cheap, and I put 30 spell power on it. The Green Tower, 13 stamina, 7 spirit, again really nice. There's a few other green ones that I have intellect and spirit. I just went with one that I like the look of, again, that I got cheap, and I put a Thorum Spike on it because why not. This is the one I was talking about, the Gem-Studded Band, 16 spell power to damage and healing, and obviously a little bit of stamina as well. Band of the Spirit, nice amount of spirit there. Another owl item, minus speed. Windchaser Woolies, I actually got these during the farm, and I thought that they're pretty amazing for this. Again, intellect, spirit, and spell power, that's huge. Intellect and spirit, and again, intellect and spirit. So you can kind of see a common theme here. Intellect and spirit is really where we're aiming at. Combining that with Blessing of Wisdom, all the consumables we're rocking, you can pretty much run this indefinitely and not run out of mana, and just keep using those max rank consecrates. For our spec, we're gonna go into Retribution first. Obviously these ones are kind of just filler ones. We're really just trying to get to Pursuit of Justice, 15% increased speed on your mount and just moving. That's great. Crusade, 3% damage to undead. Obviously everyone in the graves is undead, so it's 3% flat damage. Sanctity, instant improved Sanctity Aura is just 12% flat again. Then we're going to move across into Prot, and what we're really trying to get here is, I went in Devotion Aura. You can go read out if you want to. It's kind of getting kind of nothing. I went Devotion just for the run through. I put on Devotion Aura when I'm running through, and then when I'm doing the kill phase, I put on Sanctity. Guardian's Favor is really what helps us in this pull, reducing Bop by 2 minutes. You use Bop and Divine Shield interchangeably and off cooldown, just to stack up the mobs, maybe use an Oil of Immolation, and just regroup, because they can sometimes separate. The pathing can be a little weird, Kings, I pop that during the ride through, and I also go 5 out of 5 into Anticipation, as I read that defense reduces the chance that you'd be dazed. So I thought if that's even half true, then it's definitely worth speccing into that. But beyond that, you can kind of just put points into whatever you feel like. Once you have Pursuit of Justice and these into Sanctity, and you've got Guardian's Favor, that's kind of all you need at a baseline to get this thing going. Anything other than that, you can put into Kings and whatever you feel like. For consumables, you have Arcane Elixir and Wizard Oil. This helps with increasing the damage on Consecrate, Mage Blood, and Nightfin Soup, which will help with your mana regen, allowing you to use more of those max rate Consecrates, speeding up the kill phase. I'd also recommend using Easy Throw Dynamite too. This is great for AoE damage and pulling any mobs from graves that haven't aggroed. And bonus, you don't need to be an engineer to use them. Oil of Immolation is another very optional choice, but again increases the AoE damage you do during the kill phase and should be used in conjunction with Pop and Divine Shield. And last but not least, Superior Mana Potions. I would recommend picking a few of these up, especially as you're learning the pool. This will help you ensure that you're keeping mobs tagged by having enough mana to consecrate, but also making sure that you can use higher up ranks, making sure you've got mana for defensive abilities and things like that. Alright, next we're going to cover the ride through, which is probably what stops most people getting in here early, is they can't get to the right reset spots, they feel like they're taking too much damage, and they just can't get to the grave area. So as we start here, you'll notice that there's a pack on the left first, then there's a pack on the right, and then there's another pack at the hut. So we want to position our character firstly to as far right as we can, and once we feel like we're past aggro range of the pack on the left, we're going to start heading left and then right again. Just keeping max distance, reducing as much damage as we can take. So as you'll see here, far right, and then we're going to venture a little bit towards the left, and then we're going to hug the right here again. You'll notice as I go past these mobs, I spin my character to face them. Obviously, if we get attacked from behind, there's a chance we get dazed, and there's a chance that we get dismounted, which is terrible. You'll need to bop immediately, and then find a reset spot. Also, obviously, you saw me jump up to the first reset spot. The trick here, when you get onto the ledge and you jump, take your finger off W, and you'll actually hit an invisible wall. If you're holding down W while you're jumping through the air, you won't hit it. So you have to press W, jump, get your hand off the keyboard, and you'll automatically get stuck on that ledge. Obviously, wait for the mobs to despawn. We leave combat and we mount up again. So I'm just going to demonstrate the second reset spot here. Obviously spinning while we're riding, always facing the mobs as they attack us. There's a bit of a delay and a weird leeway, so just be mindful of that. Time it correctly, you'll eventually get it down. Here's another reset spot here. Doesn't look like a reset spot, but fun if they don't attack you here. You just wedge yourself in between here. They eventually will despawn, but what you can find is if they're on a pathing that's just in front of you, it won't reset in time, and it'll just continually get on a loop. There's another reset spot here, obviously all in the same room. Position yourself to the left of that wall where that sort of indent is, mount up and jump across. As soon as you are on top of the wall, they start to bug out, they start to lose combat. I find positioning myself towards the end of the wall out of their line of sight is best for a quick reset. There's another great spot, shout out to Rogue Bro from my guild, who showed me that you can actually mount up on this wall without getting off. Just backpedal onto the lamp, mount up, and you can continue from here. Always spinning. There's another reset spot here. Again, there's so many mobs here that I don't like resetting here. If I can help it, I won't. Now I'll just show you a full run through of what we did before. So running through, we're keeping as far left and as far right as we can, depending on where the mobs are. Jumping and spinning. Always keeping a nice distance, 5 or so yards between mobs if we can, taking large circles around them. always splitting the gap, right in the middle. Blood drinkers always obviously have a two-handed sword and huge leeway. We're going to go up onto the dark part of this mound, jump over the pot, and there's another reset spot right here and on the left. Always keep in mind your health as you're doing this. You might be like, oh man, I'm doing so well, I haven't dismounted yet, but you actually might take a shadow bolt to the back and you'll actually die. So when you're in the reset spot, just start throwing some heals on yourself. Don't do what I'm doing and not do that. As soon as you drop combat, get on the mount as quick as you can, otherwise maybe a patrol will come around the corner. That's another reset spot. So now this will be a full run through. Again, as I say, splitting the mobs. I've got a shield on here. You've obviously got a priest friend or you've got another account. I did this live on stream. So if you can shield yourself, it obviously helps heaps. You can see I've got stamina buff, which is massive. Really helpful if you're going in here at 42. 40, I see people coming in at 38. Shout out to Tommy Salami. I haven't done it personally, so I can't vouch for how easy it is or how hard it is. You can see I'm taking shadow bolts from miles away. So just keep in mind your health. Jumping and spinning. Once we get to the Scarab Room, Theka. Yeah, he's a boss, but he hits just as hard as any other mob. So you don't have to be especially afraid of him. There's two patrols, one that comes through this corridor and patrols into the middle of the room, and then another one that comes from the other side of the room. Blood drinkers are fine. Shadow hunters are the one you want to watch out for. They will hex you, and you will die. It's like a 10-second hex. You can't bubble out of it. So if there is a shadow hunter, always just mark these guys up. And if it's a shadow hunter, just be mindful if you're pulling graves, if you're going for the kill phase, do not pull them. Just wait for them to patrol past. So we're going to start the thing. We're going to run to the boss, click all the graves as we go, and go to our first reset spot. So you can see I'm just marking up that guy there. Just checking he's not a shadow hunter. Just get behind the pot, wait for this first line of graves that we clicked to drop aggro, and we can keep an eye on our target frame and just wait for us to drop combat. As you see your levels come up clear, you're clear to go. Clicking. I find strafing to be the best way to make sure I'm clicking all the graves. And I like to click this one on the right. They come really quickly after you clear them, so don't be afraid to use bop here. It's not worth screwing up the pull here. Now we're going to jump up. See that patrol coming through there? Always mark them so you know when they're coming. You can see those marks through walls. Quick little inspect. As soon as they despawn, we can then pop your consumes now. Don't pop them at the start, because what if you die? Waste of consumes. Pop my night pin, pop my pots. Wizard Ore's already on. I pop all these graves. If you click a grave and nothing comes out of it, that's just bad RNG. Don't think you can click it again and a zombie will come out. The mobs will vary. It's all RNG based. You can't help it. Sometimes you might get 50 mobs, you might get 55 mobs, you might get 40, you might get 38. It's just the roll of the dice. As soon as we drop combat, a good thing to notice here is dead heroes pull dead heroes, which are the guys in red, and zombies pull zombies. So what you want to do is turn evil either the zombie or the dead hero, and then exercise whatever you didn't turn evil. So if I'm turning evil the dead heroes, I want to exercise the zombie, and you'll see me do that here when this patrol buggers off. And don't be afraid if you do the pull and not everything comes. You might be able to round up a few stragglers once we get further into the pull. And don't be disheartened if you feel like you've done this 3, 4, 5 times now, and you can't get the right in right, or you can't get the grave right. It's not a race. You're not going for war first. Turn evil and exercise 1. I'm going to jump really deep into here, sliding a little bit on the wall. I'm going to jump over the corner here. That'll start an RP with the boss again. where you just want to stop right here. That indent in the line ahead, I'll mark it on the screen now. If you go past there, the mobs will reset, or will begin to reset. So just wait till they're around the corner. We're going to jump between these two spots to juggle the mobs. Obviously, one wall they go one way, and the other wall they go another way, which is how this pull works. We're going to wait for them to get close, and then we're going to drop down. You'll see those mobs in the corner, they never pull. Never ever pull. So what you want to do is wait for them to come around the corner for the mobs you've just pulled. Bop at the last moment. You can see there, it's a bit of a scuffed pull, but we're going to bubble. We're going to pull. Sometimes there's people that get stuck in that little doorway there. Bubble really close there. Don't cut it fine. It's not worth screwing up the pull. The amount of times they get greedy. So you can see that one guy in the corner that hasn't pulled. Just the way it goes. I mean, you can exercise the mob right next to them and they don't pull. Just the way it goes. Always put up your blessing if you bop. Obviously, blessing of protection gets rid of blessing of wisdom. But if you're using divine shield, your wisdom will stay. So just always remember that. I do it all the time, but sometimes it always screws it up. So how we're doing the kill phase here is we're going to consecrate right here. You can see a little bit goes on the wall. If you can get a little bit on the wall, that's great. As soon as the mobs are past that initial consecrate you've done, drop down, and then they'll run back through it. We're going to consecrate again here on this corner. And we're not going to stop and check. We're not going to run. We're just going to consecrate and run. Big dynamite on that grouped pack. As soon as I see sort of the last one in that pack cross my consecrate, I'm jumping off and they're all running through it again. Consecrate again. Jumping straight back over. See that really nice big group we've got there? That's a great chance to dynamite. You don't want to dynamite half the pack, because then you get a place where the mobs are running at different paces. The lower the health they are, the slower they run. Once they hit like 20%, they start to walk slower. So you've got a pack that's walking really fast at regular pace, and you've got a pack that's running at half the pace. You end up with a split pack, and you're not able to jump from spot to spot as efficiently because you're having to juggle these two different paced mobs, and you'll end up screwing up the pull. As you see, we get further and further into this pull. They get more and more stretched. So we're going to throw down a consecrate here, bop, pop an oil of immolation, and get them to group up. Always nice to do this every once in a while. If Blessing of Protection's up, if Divine Shield's up, and you feel like the mobs are starting to get a little bit stretched, they're dying at different paces, they're all taking weird damage, just group them all up again, start from the beginning. Again, big dynamite, trying to hit everyone. The great thing about getting that consecrate to hit the wall a little bit is they tend to stick on this wall a little bit longer. So you get the damage as they cross the wall, they get the damage as they get on top of the wall, and they run through. So you're getting heaps of ticks. The thing is, it's a greedy thing to do because of the mob's auto attack range and leeway. You can sometimes get clipped if you're too close. So really you're playing with fire, and I have died numerous times being greedy, trying to get more damage and decrease my kill times. You can see that I'm hanging a little bit back. If you want to be safe, you hang on the back side of that wall, and you don't get close to where the mobs are running through, because they will hit you. It doesn't look like they can, but they will hit you. I mana pot here, just because I'm using heaps of max consecrates and I'm quite low level. Actually, I'm 46 here, but no, I just like to play it safe. See here, they're getting a little bit weirdly stacked, but I think I can still grab it. So just doing what I'm going to do, consecrate there. See how I cut the corner a little bit there? Tommy Salami calls that the greed jump. What it does is it causes the mobs to dip back down to where sort of you jump off here, causes them to path downwards and then back up. So if the tail of your pull is getting a little bit stretched, what you can do is do that greed jump, cut that corner, that first corner, instead of running all the way around, and you might get the mobs to stack up a little better. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does, and they all just group up perfectly. Getting towards the end of the pool now. This can be a little bit painful at times. You might have like mobs that are almost dead, and you've got like this one where this mob was at 40% life. So I like to exercise on cooldown. If there's 2 left, maybe you want to just, like I do here, hodge 1 what's in the consecrate. If there's 2, maybe you just want to hold the aggro of 2, consecrate, and just start using judgment. Get ahead on looting maybe. But again, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything just because there's 2 of them. I know it might seem painful just to be hitting 2 of them, but what can you do? You really can't really face tank these 2. You can quickly forget that they're elites. They do a lot of damage, and if you get clipped being greedy, you take 40 hits in the space of 1 second, and you just instantly die. So here, I just decide I can just kill these 2. Oh no. Just taking all my other tabs. But yeah, that's kind of the pool. All done. What you do get at 50 is Holy Wrath, and you get a rank 4 Consecrate, which speeds us up massively. That's it for the video. I hope you're able to put into practice what I've shown you today. And if you're struggling at all, feel free to ask me some questions down below and I'll definitely get back to you. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe, as supporting the channel directly helps those in need through the Movember Foundation. I'll also be doing a 24-hour live stream during the launch of TBC Classic over on my Twitch at nitty_TV. Come in, have a few laughs as I slowly lose my mind doing the dungeon grind. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later.